Every life tells a story. Join Frank Julian as he shares his, one chapter at a time, from Story of a Soul 2, releasing every Wednesday.
The Story of a Soul 2 by Frank Julian with Sean O'Neill, narrated by Frank Julian. Chapter 32. Blessings Bring Us Back from the Brink. I called Bishop Brad as soon as I could and told him about our plight. I said, "Can the IPHC help us?" He said that he would go to bat for us. He did, and the lending arm of the IPHC gave us our mortgage on March 27, 2012, just 4 days before we were to be evicted from our building. We celebrated at church with a Jericho march and set up a plaque in the lobby as our stone of remembrance. I knew that God was with me, and, I have to admit, I hoped that those who had not voted for me knew that they were proven wrong. One lady did come up to me and said, "I didn't vote for you, but I stayed, and I'm glad I did." I'm glad she did too. Someone up there likes me. What happened next was divine. I knew that I had to grow the ministry because so many people had left, but I also knew that only God gives the increase. I did not want numbers for numbers' sake. I wanted God to reassemble his body at Faith Christian Assembly, and he wasted no time. People were leaving, and many among those people needed to leave. Some went to prison, some died. I just watched and prayed. Then I got an invitation to lunch from a local pastor. I thought that it was a courtesy call, but it turned out to be much more. He was very supportive and gave me priceless advice. He said that when he took over his church, people left. He let them go, and he told me to do the same. I felt a new permission to let the old be purged and let the new be grafted in. Then he told me the deeper reason for the lunch. He told me that he was the pastor over the local Christian TV station and wanted to put me on the air on the Ask the Pastor show. I wanted to do this and contacted the station, just as he had requested. The station manager and his assistant came and we had lunch. Not only did they want to have me on their show monthly, but they wanted to come out and do a feature spot on our unique remodeled Kmart church. I was totally on board. All of the ministries prepared for the visit. The indoor skating section and the food and clothing ministry, Bread of Life, were featured, and there were also interviews with me and with church members in our cafe called Holy Grounds. They edited it and aired it on their local show. I was a semi-regular guest on the interview show. I was even a guest on their late-night show. People began to say that they saw me on the TV and started coming to the church. I could not have paid for this kind of advertisement. All I knew was that his invisible hand was on me and the ministry. I couldn't see it, but his fingerprints were everywhere. I even got fan mail and church donations from Utah, Iowa, and Missouri. The local station was part of TCT, Total Christian Television, and had 20 stations nationwide and several satellite distributors. One thing led to another, and then we had our own weekly half-hour show called Faith Today. We just kept on growing, but growth does not simply happen overnight. One winter, the bills kept mounting. It snowed almost every day. The huge Kmart parking lot was great in the summer for our drive-in family movie night, but in the winter it cost almost $1,000 to plow and salt it. The bills mounted, and I was grieved. I cried out to God and thought he had not heard me. We were at the March meeting of the board of directors discussing the figures for January and February. The Arctic blast sent a chill through the boardroom. The church was $22,000 in the red, it was announced. I gasped. The board members tried to cheer me up instead of me encouraging them in return. I said, "I can't do this. I don't want to watch every paperclip," as I shuffled out of the room. The next morning, I was in my office alone and was told that I had a visitor. I told them to let him in. He was a familiar face, but not a regular attender due to all his Sundays that he worked. His company had to complete their jobs. I offered CDs of the messages. Then came a shock. He knew nothing of the night before. He proceeded to tell me that I was the real deal. I said that I try to be, and that the Bible says God is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. I said, I do diligently seek him. He said, I have a little something for you. I looked at him as he pulled out a check for $30,000. I asked if he knew what I had said the night before. He said no. I told him, and then I began to cry. I couldn't help it. It meant so much to me. I told him, "You can't buy my prayers, but I will pray for you every day." And since that morning, I certainly have.
Thank you for listening. Join Frank Julian every Wednesday for a new chapter of Story of a Soul 2. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter.